Good morning, members of the Ditching the 9 to 5 Facebook community. I am excited to be here today, again with Blair Brown. So my name, for anyone who hasn't met me yet, is Daphne, and I am the founder and creator of the Free at 50 blog, as well as the administrator and creator of this fantastic Facebook community. And I might sound biased, but I think the Ditching the 9 to 5 community is truly fantastic because it has so many members from so many backgrounds, but all with the same goal, and that really is enjoying life. So with that in mind, I'm bringing Blair Brown, who is a brand strategist and an overall marketing guru, on with me this morning. We, for those of you that are in the Facebook group, you know, we recently did a poll, and one of the topics that came up, the topic that came up on top, is talking about advanced planning for social media and making sure that that's something we are going to be able to make easy for you without overwhelm. We wanted to do a Facebook Live this morning. So I'm going to try and bring Blair on board with me. Hopefully that works. It says it's adding. So again, Blair joined me last week. You can catch that video too, where we talked about turning your hobby into a business. Good morning, Blair.
Good morning. It's always a win whenever Facebook camera works, you know, for these things.
No, right? I did another live in another group this morning, and after, at the end of the live, for anyone watching this later, they're going to be like, why are you even bothering with this? But really quickly, it just kept saying that it was ending video for like 15 seconds. So I just sat there and smiled because I didn't know.
I would have done the same.
I had no idea. But anyway, so we're here today to talk about simplifying social media because many reasons, but in this group especially, we have a lot of people who have spent years working with other people, having marketing teams, having IT teams. And, you know, when you're starting your own business, one of the most overwhelming things is, how do I get people to even know I exist?
Yeah.
So that's what we want to talk about this morning. So we're going to talk about what to post, how to make it simple for yourself to do that, tools you can use, and of course, because we are, you know, entrepreneurs ourselves, we're going to close out with how each of us can help you in the end, sharing links. So that's what we're going to do today. So first off, Blair, why don't you tell us from your perspective, and we'll kind of knock it back and forth, as an entrepreneur, no matter what your business is, what types of things do you think are important to focus on in posting in social media?
I think it's really important first to make it look professional. I think sometimes it doesn't have to be perfect, but I think professional is very key, because I think if you're just slapping something up online, you're saying, oh, well, I posted today, and if it doesn't have a professional approach, it's not going to be received very well on the other end, as far as establishing yourself as a professional in your field. So I think something where some people are like, oh, it's just, you know, fluff or frou-frou things. It's not. Having a professional look is going to purvey to, you know, other people how professional you actually are, and it starts to build that trust factor.
Yeah.
So if you put your best foot forward now and from the beginning, it's going to help you in the long term, because people will start saying, oh, okay, well, they look professional. I'm kind of interested in what they're saying. And it just sets the foundation in a better way. So I for sure recommend that.
Yes. And so, and specifically, I'm going to just play off that. So it should be professional. It should have, I mean, yes, you can put some personal behind the scenes, and I'm going to call it behind the scenes type posts, right?
Yes, totally.
That aren't always about the sale or giving you hard information or a list of tips. You can have some behind the scenes, but I think, you know, when you're thinking about what to post to make it easy on yourself and easy overwhelm and advanced plan it, if you have a new blog post coming, if you have an offer coming, a new product, a service that you want to focus on. So what to post are all of the things that show off who you are and share your business, right? And that's where, like, sometimes I'll do behind the scenes of what I'm working on today, and I'll ask people in this group, I'll do a screenshot of my, you know, laptop, say, what are you working on today, right? So what to post really can be organized across social media just by simply, what's your theme this month? What are you working on, right? What's your latest?
Totally. Yeah. I think that especially I have to say, I'm gonna brag on you. You're really good at planning stuff out. I feel like it makes it easier though if you do plan out a theme for a month or a week or however
Yeah.
whatever time increment makes sense for your business. But by planning these things out, it's gonna make it easier long term to actually use one post, but then flip it into multiple posts. So that's the key here is recycling and reusing, repurposing the same concept, but using it across different platforms. Because if you're using the energy to put time and thought into one concept, let's say, then you can use it for multiple posts. That's saving you a lot of brain power. And I
Right.
know that sounds kind of funny saying it that way, but once you're in the trenches of starting a business, you really need all the brain power you can and
Right.
all the energy and time. Time is going to be your most valuable thing. So if you just have to, okay, this week I'm going to talk about organizing my desk. Let's just say that as an example. Okay, what are we going to do about that? Let's start with a long form content, which blogging is always a great place to start if you have a blog or an email. Huh?
Attached to the website. Everybody should at least have a blog section on their website where they can occasionally post blog posts. I'm going to
Yeah,
throw.
because oh yeah, we
Right.
could go on a tangent. That's a whole other
But,
Facebook Live, right?
but that's what to post, right? So you start with, so that's getting into the how. So let's go right to step 2, how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead. You
Oh,
start
sorry, I
long
went ahead
form
of
post.
things.
No,
I
no,
went crazy. I'm going rogue.
no,
Um,
that's fantastic.
so,
So how to do
but
it.
yeah,
Start with
I
post.
definitely think I always recommend for the people I work with, start with long form because then you kind of just get all your everything you're excited about the
And
topic, all your ideas
yeah,
onto one piece of content. Yeah. So it'd be like a blog post or it could be a long form email. One of those two is typically where you're going to start. From there, what you could do is just take little snippets. Maybe it's a quote, maybe it's a tip, maybe it's two things, maybe it's a book recommendation you mentioned in that, or some sort of free resource you mentioned in it that you could highlight. You could take and pull apart that long form comment or post, and now you can make a ton of different posts out of it. Like I said, those were like probably 10 ideas that you could just have 10 different pieces of content. And what's even better is you can use, I'm just using the number 10. Let's use all 10 of those ideas, not just for Instagram, but use the exact same piece. You don't even have to change it for Facebook. Use the same piece for, well, the graphic for Pinterest, and then just take, copy and paste part of the caption, put it into that caption. So you can use all of that across different platforms without having to come up with new ideas. And I think that's going to save you a lot of time. And also with the how to is scheduling it. So am I jumping ahead?
a little bit.
Schedule it.
Let me expand on that, or kind of, wrap that up before we move into that. So how to post too, I want to add to that.
Yeah.
Or how to do all of this. Yes, definitely have one basic foundation that you can work off of and pull from. And that, back to the main topic of simplifying social media, all of a sudden one post becomes 10 or 15 or 20. It's not like you're creating 20 new ideas.
No.
You've got one idea. And that helps with driving home your message, building your brand, because it's consistent.
Yeah.
So people, I'm in another Facebook group where I'm the blogger in the group. So even though here I might be talking about social media in February, that might be our focus. That is going to be our focus. I might be in that other group, not talking about social media, but talking about why you should start a blog, right? So it's like this consistent same message. And then also, I want to throw this in, prompts. You can, when you're doing long-term planning to make your social media organized, I use prompts a lot. It's not that I
Yeah.
don't know what to say. I definitely know my audience and some of the topics, but how do you make it interesting? So you can look ahead and go, okay, January was National Hobby Month, and that I use that as a prompt to talk about turning your hobby into a business. So again, that's a way to make social media simpler for you,
Mm-hmm.
is to take one theme or topic and use that prompt to get your message out.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's such a good point that you made, because oftentimes I feel like people might listen to this, us talk about this, they go to their computer and they go, oh my God, I have writer's block, content block. but by having tools to get out of that block, like picking a prompt and then running with it, but it has to do with your business or it's something topical people in your audience care about, those are really great ways to jog ideas. So if you ever feel stuck or you're like, I'm not creative, you can be creative by just using other people's prompt ideas, even, like National Hobby Month. That is not something everybody knows about, but it's something cool. It's interesting. It's Daphne's audience and my audience. Like those are the kinds of things that you want to look at. What are your people listening care about? I think it's Daphne having this poll and asking what people are caring about right now is going to help drive content that matters to people and is actually helping them, and it's free. So things like that are things you want to think about. What's going to bring value to the people? What do they care about? So that way your content is not only putting you in a position of being a great resource, but it's also, it builds a trust factor too. So building that brand awareness, trust, that factor, even if you're not a celebrity, let's say, whenever you're starting out as a brand, it's a really great way to build up your audience. So I think building the trustworthy things and just being, true to who you are and what you're doing, that's going to help.
Yeah. And I want to add that point on to the second point of the how of creating the content, just using the brand that you have started to create, right? So
Yeah.
Stacy joined us from Chipmunks RV Life, and Stacy has a great thing with her brand. Everybody knows that every morning when they log in, what's going to be in their feed if they follow her is something about her morning coffee, right? And
well, I'm right there with her.
She's full-time. Cheers to you, Stacy. And she's full-time RV life, and she needs that coffee if she's going to be driving 10 hours.
Oh my
so
God.
It's you can use your brand also for consistent content that doesn't take a lot of thought in advance. But if you do want to do it in advance, you already have a starting point. I think I'm kind of well known for putting out quotes. Quotes is my thing. I have multiple blog posts using quotes. I do that on Instagram, and I'll run across a quote that's interesting, and that's something you can do on the fly. So you don't always have to do advanced planning.
Yeah.
Once you have your brand sort of identified and people start knowing you for something, that's content you can do quickly and on the fly without worrying about, interrupting yourself or setting time aside. So I think that's too.
Even resharing on Instagram stories, for example, like I reshare content a lot.
Me too.
If it's aligned with something that I like, I support, I agree with. For example, I love to champion entrepreneurs. That's what I do. So I work with a lot of small and medium-sized businesses, but also solopreneurs. So if I find something inspirational that I can relate to as an entrepreneur, or I know somebody else that I work with relates to, like, one of those funny memes about being chased by a bear and the person being chased says, me running away from something that takes me only 15 minutes to do. Something humorous like that, like I can relate to, and I know everybody I talk to can too. Or something about supporting small businesses or shopping small. That's something that I really love too. I didn't even make the content, but because it really resonated with me, I shared it to my platform, and that just kind of continues to build on that messaging, and that's really an easy way to do it.
And that's also helped me. Like, Instagram isn't where people go to my blog. That's not where I'm finding readers, but it is where I'm finding collaborators, and hopefully I am inspiring people on the quick scroll. I mean, that is my goal.
I follow, of course.
But I have met some great people to collaborate with. A lot of my guest posters that are scheduled going forward or were scheduled in the last few months all came from Instagram because of aligned messaging, right? So I found somebody the other day, Luxury of Business is her account. She's a 9-to-5 escapee, and she did something, it was called Chapter 51 or 52. She's a little bit younger than me, but not much, but it was Chapter 52. 11 things that I wish I knew when I was 25 or something like that. And I was reading her list, and even though I haven't listed those things in every single blog post, I'm like, oh my goodness, that is completely the Free at 50 mindset and lifestyle for every Gen Xer out there. And we connected, and now she's going to do a guest post. And I think that, you have to think in terms of like you said, making it easy on yourself, sharing aligned information, but also take the extra step, connect with those people, say, thank you for giving me this fantastic information to share with my people. Now, how can we work together because we're so aligned?
I love
So I think
that.
that's the next level thing, right? But social media isn't necessarily just about making a sale or getting the followers. It's about growing your business at every level, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And I think you're so right. I love that you brought up the collaboration piece of things because that's such a great way to just building out your network is so important as an entrepreneur, especially when you're starting out. If you get a couple of, like, you don't need a million people to be following you to be successful. You
Right.
just need that core group of people that get you, they're your people, and they're cheering you along, and you're, cheering them along too, whatever field you're in. And if you have those core people supporting you and vice versa, you're going to go a long ways. Plus, it's just good to have people that you can talk to. So that's, I think,
And
sharing.
this,
I mean, look at us right now. We literally met on Facebook. And so, Daphne and I have now been collaborating for actually years, which is kind of wild. Isn't
yeah,
that crazy, Daphne?
in a couple of years.
It
Yeah.
has. But now we're like good friends, and that's just how it happens. So don't be afraid to reach out to people you don't know if there's something you can connect on and relate your businesses to and help each other out. And just realize if you go into it with the mindset of giving first versus taking, then you're fine. Like that's the move. Like, how can I contribute value to that person?
Right.
And then how can we make this fun for both of us? And then that's going to build a really good relationship.
Absolutely. So we've covered what to post, how to do it, but let's dig into the how with the next one that are some of the tools, right? So I think you started to hit on that. You're talking about scheduling things in advance. So I would say an important tool is a way to plan, whether it's the Epic Blog Planner I always put out there. Some people use like Airtable or Trello. What do you use to plan your social media content, or how do you do it?
Well, I do use Trello with my team, but we use Publer.io, Publer.io. It's a really great scheduling tool that I like, and the reason why I like it is because you can post on practically
Oh, you're
every
talking about a
platform.
scheduling tool. Yeah, not a planning tool. Schedule. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Planning tool,
Yes.
Trello for sure.
Yeah.
We go through.
Schedule within, I actually do it for free right within Facebook. I use
I
Meta
still use
Business Suite.
the free Trello. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Trello's free
Yeah.
too.
So for the actual scheduling, you can, especially if you're starting out, using just the free Meta Business Suite for Instagram and Facebook, and then you can also Pinterest. They've actually really, even though Pinterest algorithms are all over the place for me, they've improved their internal scheduling tool, which is free, really well. So you can schedule way further out and you can do quick clicks. So explore whatever platform you're on too. But I think having a scheduler, if you're planning things in advance, which is what the whole point of this Facebook Live is about, you need to set yourself up with a scheduling system and then just sit down and how do you do that? You block a few hours, you block a day of the week. I block a few hours a month and I just do once everything for social media.
Yeah. Whenever I'm in like full on social media mode, I block a day
Mm-hmm.
and I'll come up with the ideas. I'll talk to, if it's not me making the content, well, when it is me making the content, like I'll just do it. But if it's my team, we'll talk about the ideas. And yeah, just scheduling like one block at a time is gonna be so much easier. And let me tell you why, because if you're at any point, and this happens to the best of us. Sometimes if you get caught up in your other work projects and then you're like, I need to do social, then you get stuck in like oh, I need to post today. Then you post today. Then I need to make something for tomorrow. I need to make something for tomorrow. It halts up your whole day. And let me tell you, while it doesn't
Yep.
sound like it takes up hours of your day, it does.
You're interrupting yourself. So,
and yeah, it backtracks everything. And then all of a sudden you're just like, you're struggling to keep up with everything else and your social media. Just do one day or a couple hours, not even a full day. Schedule it for the whole month.
that's
so
right.
You don't have to think
And
about it. And then,
always do the on the fly stuff, you know,
yeah,
like if
I do
I feel
that. Like if
Williamsburg,
I'm reposting,
I see a
I do
cool
on the fly.
picture or I hear a cool quote, I'll just drop it in there, right? But I know that I don't need to. I know that every day of the month, this Facebook group is going to have something posted. Pinterest is just going, everything's going. And so I would say on, you know, kind of closing out this tools thing, have a planner of some sort, whether it's digital, if that's your thing, or if it's written the way I like to kind of write it out, have a planner and have a scheduling tool. Those
Yeah,
and use Canva for the graphics.
use
If you're doing
Canva.
it yourself, you don't,
Free.
you're not to the point of hiring a VA or somebody to do your
Use
graphics
Canva.
for you. Using the free version of Canva is really, really helpful. And once you have those templates, you'll notice if you're in my Facebook group, which most people watching are at this point, you're going to notice that my welcome post is automatic. Meta Business Suite just pulls the new people every week, and then the graphic is the same. So you can reuse those graphics, you can change a couple words in them, but once they're done, so have something for your graphics, something to plan in advance, and have scheduling tools.
Yeah, I couldn't say better things about Canva. I love it. It's especially if you're going the free route for now and you're on a budget, do Canva for free. You want to upgrade to premium, it's still very
Yeah.
inexpensive. And what's cool is that you can also do stuff whenever you're coming up with your branding is you can save your brand colors,
Mm-hmm.
you can save your logo, you can
Yeah.
save your fonts. So that way, after you set that up once, then moving forward, like Daphne said, you can reuse templates if you like to do a recurring post or a recurring style. So you can make your own templates.
Yeah.
And then if you're doing new content all the time, just click, boom, there's your font, there's your colors, easy to grab.
Yeah.
Make it easy on yourself. Don't not post just because you think you're stressing about time and what are you going to post. Look for the prompts, look for the free resources, schedule it out in advance. Then that is one task checked off your checklist, and then you're great.
Yeah.
And I know Dr. knows about checklists.
Yes. So I think we've covered it. I think if there's any questions, you guys definitely type in the questions, ask us later, we'll respond.
Yeah.
But I think we've pretty much, hit our goal, and the goal is to help you hit your goals with social media and simplifying it. So this video is recorded. I'm gonna pop it up on YouTube. We're gonna keep it around. But in closing it out, we each, I do encourage affordable and inexpensive tools for these things because they exist. But I also truly believe that you have to invest very specifically and in a targeted way. And so two things. One, Blair has a fantastic program for launching a business that has incorporated one of my all-time favorite courses. Focus branding is a module within it. I won't let the focus branding go.
That's fine. I love it too. That's why I kept it in this one.
Within her whole, and just for that chapter alone or section alone, it's worth the investment. But if you want help getting all the way through setting up your business and hitting each points in your business, then you're going to want to use the link that we drop for Blair's course. And then if you want help that is a short term, many of you know that I've created this sort of 2-month program. Stacy's used it, and it's something where we can get together for 30 minutes plus every 2 weeks for 2 months to get something established, organized, get you in a process, hit on one particular thing. So if you're going through Blair's course and there's something you want to dive deeper in, more customized, you can reach out to her as well. You can reach out to me to go hit one goal, organize your social media, whatever you want to do. We're going to drop those links. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them. I haven't seen anything dropped. I know we have a few people watching us live, but we'll watch for the follow-up. Yeah.
Yes, I'll see.
If you're watching, just drop a hello or a thank you or something, a smiley face emoji. Make it positive.
Yeah, I mean,
but
this is stuff that I feel like it's the number one thing that people are always, it's a love-hate relationship with social media. I just know that. And, but honestly, it doesn't have to be hard. And, I think one thing that would be kind of fun is if whoever's listening, if you guys implement any of these steps in the next month, I mean, I would challenge you to do it this weekend, get started. But if you start scheduling or start planning, tag me and Daphne and let us know, and we'll like hype you up.
Yes.
And
Yeah. Even if you
because I also want
download,
to know what
right?
scheduling tool you're going to be using. There's so many out there, but like I said, I just
Yeah.
happen to like Publer. But so anyway, tag us, let us know how your journey is going. And I mean, between me and Daphne, we have all the resources, so we would love to help you. This is literally what we do. So
Exactly. So
hopefully that made it
tell
easier.
us what you're doing. If you're watching it on replay, if you watch it on YouTube, drop a comment, let us know where you're seeing it, but definitely tell us any steps you take.
Yeah,
Have a
definitely.
fantastic day, everybody, and a wonderful
Thanks, everybody. Bye.